Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chair, and thank you, all of you, for being here. I'm a huge supporter of autonomous vehicles. I think they're very beneficial to everyone. I think they'll make the roads more safe. I also think they'll be very beneficial to senior citizens and the disabled. In fact, in Arizona, my home state, our Republican Governor Ducey was put in policies that really incentivized autonomous vehicle companies to come to Arizona. In fact, we have Waymo One, which operates 24/7 across 225 square miles in Metro Phoenix area. I've rode in one of them in downtown Phoenix. In the city of Peoria, Arizona, where I live, we had a robo-ride medical autonomous electric vehicle that operated in a healthcare district where there were home to more than 100 medical facilities and more than 500 senior living residences. We also have May Mobility, which is funded by AARP, operating in Sun City, Arizona, which is a senior citizen community, and they have two wheelchair accessible vehicles that operate to help senior citizens get around. So, Mr. Riccobono, sorry if I said your name wrong, you indicated that increased deployment of autonomous vehicles would significantly improve the independence and economic prospects for people with disabilities and mobility limitations. In my district, the Valley Wave Project, which is May Mobility, operates a wheelchair-accessible vehicle with additional audio and visual accessibilities or accessory features. However, under the current regulations, these deployments use existing FMVSS-compliant vehicle designs and modify them to be more accessible. My question is, how can the deployment of purpose-built automated vehicles enabled by this legislation unlock even greater accessibility designs from the ground up?
So it's a great question. I would say two things. One is I think there is a real opportunity here to innovate around accessible design, especially in the physical environment when we think about building vehicles that don't require some of the controls that we've had in the past. I also think, part of this is we need to build that bridge to the future. So really centering people with disabilities in terms of physical design. There's still innovations to be had there. So I know my colleagues, especially who do utilize wheelchairs, have concerns that we can use some of the existing exemptions and modifications while we get to a future where we have safety restraints that work for all types of people, including those who use various varieties of wheelchairs.
Thank you. Mr. Shapiro, you mentioned that autonomous vehicle technology will empower millions of Americans. I agree with you, providing greater independence and mobility for seniors and people with disabilities. In my district, again in Sun City, Arizona, we are seeing just that with the AARP sponsoring the deployment of May Mobility's wheelchair accessible vehicles in service of a retirement community. Arizona is home to a growing retirement population, and this will bring increased mobility needs as residents age. My question is, what can we do to ensure we're leveraging autonomous vehicle technology to meet the needs of populations who are aging and may have subsequent mobility limitations? My next question is, please expand on what you wanted to talk about on competition with China.
Thank you very much for those questions. So just to lay the groundwork, in 2021 there was 42,000 plus deaths, 1.7 million injuries in the United States with vehicles, 4.3 million accidents, collision. Think of the money every American will save on insurance if we could even cut those down by half. Think of how the hospital rooms will be emptied out and the doctors could do what they should be doing in other areas, the nurses, the anesthetists, so many other people. There'll be a huge savings. it'll benefit every American, not just those with disabilities. As a person on the panel who's over 65, I say I look forward to it because I could get a lot of work done as opposed, when I'm going on longer drives and things like that I'd appreciate. That would add to our economy. In terms of China, I have long maintained that we should treat China the way they treat us. We should have reciprocity. If they're not letting us test our vehicles there, we shouldn't let them trust there. And that goes on to a lot of other areas, but you're focusing in this area specifically. We've had a business at a big event in China. I've had to deal with it. I've had to have the government partnerships. It's a longer discussion about China, but clearly they are our biggest long-term strategic threat, not only militarily, but in terms of what the type of lifestyle they want compared to what we want our kids and grandkids to be. So if you're talking about China, I'm interested.
All right, thank you, and I yield back.